Alright guys, quick message before we get into the pod. I want to apologize for all the technical difficulties of this podcast, including the camera cutting in and out, and there's an echo mic somewhere in the middle. We're playing with new equipment, trying to make this pod as good as possible for you guys. So bear with us. This will hopefully not happen too often, but while we're in these first couple stages, it might be a little on the tougher side because of all this new equipment we're playing with. But other than that, enjoy the podcast.
Welcome back, lads. Episode 7 of the Spike Lemonade podcast, and we have a big one for you. We have a couple really cool reveals. The Lemon Lad RoundNet page and Lemon Lads as a whole have been growing, and a lot of really cool projects and things we're working on as a group. We have a couple of new members to talk about with the group. For this podcast specific, we're going to be talking about this fantastic gentleman to my right, Matt Spilark, who's been on the podcast before. You guys know him, Matt Spo _RoundNet, and a lot of great stuff that he does online with his social media content, pushing the sport forward, an ambassador, a leader of the New Jersey RoundNet movement, and recently, our most recent addition to the Lemon Lads gang. It's been really cool having Matt because he's fantastic with content creation. So he's helped us get a little bit of a foot in the door with updates to new posts and how to put videos together and edits. And it's been awesome. It's been really cool. So we'll link a lot of our stuff and we'll get into it a little bit more. But for this episode, we're going to talk about Matt coming on and joining the Lemon Lads, becoming a permanent fixture on the Spike Lemonade pod as my co-host, which would be awesome. We're going to do a lot of in-person pods together. We're going to try and crank these episodes out so you have one a week. The dream right now is to post every Friday. Sometimes I'll travel to Matt. Sometimes he'll travel to me. We'll try and do some pickup and some other things when one person travels to the others to make it worth both of our whiles. Second thing we're going to get through this evening, we posted on the Spike Lemonade Pod's Instagram account asking for your questions. Some hot topics. There were some fun questions. There were some serious questions. Some that are a little bit more spicy than others. So we're going to get to them all. If you sent in a question, it will be answered here tonight, which is cool. So get a little bit of momentum and some traction. As we record these pods, we are always going to have a segment that is going to be titled Your Questions. So just making it more relatable, and if you have anything that you ask, will be answered. So it'll be fun. We will not shy away from anything. And our third and final thing for this evening's pod will be current events. We'll go over what happened in Columbus as the field is shaping up for the championships, rankings, anything you can think of. We have a handful of current events we're gonna dive into. So that is my opening spiel. So yes, this podcast is coming to you right now from Bridgeton, New Jersey. We just finished up with a fantastic pickup session with myself, Matt Spo, Michael Garrett, and Gabe Finocchi. We had a great time. It was an absolute blast. We had some pizza here after. Been brainstorming some ideas, but here we go. Podcast is live now. Every week we're going to be giving you a new episode. I've been a little bit too spotty with the episodes because I've been trying really to push to have guests each time and not just crank it out myself. But with Matt hopping on, with you being here and almost giving me a little bit of a kick in the ass, but also it's more fun and it's not like it gives me more of a reason to kind of get up for it.
No, I agree. I think I brought up the idea to Josh a little bit ago because I wanted to be able to crank out and listen to this podcast with more times than just once every couple months or once every couple weeks, depending on whenever you can get guests. I think with two people, you can do a solid, awesome listen to podcast with about anything every week. You don't need a guest every single time. Guests are cool, but our plan is to be able to roll with it if we don't get a guest. And that's going to be, we're going to roll with it, we're going to have fun. It's going to be a lot of talking, a lot of fun. And if we get to it by the end of the day, or the end of the recording, we will be chatting. We'll be chatting if we have time at the end, and that'll be a fun part to listen to as well. So I'm stoked. I'm so stoked to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for taking me on as a lemon, as a co-host. I can't wait for the fun to come. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be so sick.
It is gonna be sick, and we have both made a lot of progress this year in a couple different ways, with our abilities, with our love for the game, with different aspects of the game, content creation for Matt, who you were posting things last season. I know you're on a week counter with your Wednesday Hump Day highlights, but this season has really amped it up. And what has been nice is your Hump Day highlights now oftentimes are against recognizable opponents.
That's very nice to have.
It's nice. You know what I'm saying? That little boost, that little rocket booster, because you've had some great plays. We've both done some cool things this year with a couple trademark wins, things to building blocks for our seasons to individually as players. Matt took down Clark Marshall and Joe Bondi in a pool play game to 15.
It was to 15. 21. We capped out at 21.
Capped at 21 with another lemon of ours, Jake Mottershead, and it was just a fantastic win. I actually, when we get to our chats, I kind of want to dive into that a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll tease ours too. I played with Mike Garrett in Long Island, and we had a really, really great win against Noah Luskis and Brendan Ferreira.
Yeah.
Saying that right?
Yep.
And maybe we talk about that too. It's like those are the wins that make you feel like, all right, I belong here. I have to keep improving, and more wins like this will come. So that's really the spike / round net update. And one just little tidbit is with this pod, and as it's gonna sort of evolve and grow and be more consistent, we aren't going to shy away from topics, whether they're brought up in your questions, whether they're brought up in our own chats. Anything that's happening, we're not going to shy away from answering things. Maybe if things are sensitive, we won't pick sides. Maybe we'll be more informative. Mm-hmm. But if there is a side to take, or we have a strong opinion on something, it's not going to be a super PC podcast where it's just going to tell you what you want to hear. We'll get into the nitty gritty and talk about what we feel right, wrong, or in between. So that is phase one of the pod, sort of kickstarting here in this new gear where we will be much more active. You'll see our socials. We'll link in the description for this YouTube post. And we will be up on also actively getting this on Spotify and a couple other places where you can digest the podcast, because I've been handling it on my own, and I like to listen to my pods on YouTube. So and it's just easy for me. So I think that I've recorded 6, 3 of them are on Spotify, 3 of them aren't. So there'll be a level of consistency too. So enough of the chatter. Let's do it. I have the questions too. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to pull one up and toss it over to you. If it needs a little bit more context, I can dive in. Okay. If not, if you just handle it, then we'll move on. Question number 1 comes from Penka_RoundNet, who is a gentleman by the name of Miguel Canet, a New Jersey RoundNet player in our community. He wants to know, how accurate are the New Jersey rankings?
Okay, so rankings are tough. Rankings are always tough when it comes to something that is so new. Like RoundNet spike ball is such a new sport, whether it's been around for maybe 10 years now. I don't know. Like the actual spike ball brand has been around for a little bit now, but like the sport of RoundNet is just so new. It's still growing. It's so hard to come up with a census to rank these players when we have such a huge community that's so diverse. Firsthand, so we're both involved in the rankings as a part of the NJR committee. Like we have a bunch of guys who get together and we talked about it for a couple weeks, trying to just hone it in, and went through a lot of it. And the biggest thing was just we went through 3 components. It was skill level, which was like an eye test, just how you play in pickup, how we see you play in tournaments. It was your tournament results, which is huge. Because some people
2023 tournament.
Yeah, 2023 tournament results. Because it's, if you go play, you have to play actively in order to be considered. And we went with consistency. Consistency can kind of go hand in hand with skill level, but I think it's just something that you should really focus on, because like you can have a kid who can make a really sick play once, and then you don't see the rest of pickup or the rest of the tournament. It's like, okay, why isn't he doing that every time? I feel like we did a really good job with the rankings. I mean, when we posted it is different than what it is now, for sure, because we posted a few weeks back. So I'm sure they've changed since then. But I think for what we did, it was pretty good. I think we did a very good general consensus of where everybody was.
Okay, one thing I want to add. I agree with you. So, for instance, the gentleman who asked this question is probably on the cusp of being in the New Jersey rankings because we cut it at 30. So I think that something to discuss for the next time we up this, which will be end of year, is especially because the New Jersey round net scene is moving in the right direction, and maybe upping it to 40, maybe to 50, depending on how many people are active. If we have the names and the numbers, and Miguel, maybe he says, I want to see where the community feels I land. Yeah. I'm not just this arbitrary, I'm 31 to 66, whatever the number may be. So Miguel, the next time we have a rankings, I'm just one part of the committee, but if it were up to me, and I think Matt would echo the same sort of sentiment, you'll be on the rankings. You get to see where you land. You'll get to see that little bit of a benchmark, things to attack, and ways you can, see your number rise and as your game rises. I'm assuming that's kind of why you asked the question because, everyone wants to see themselves on a ranking, good, bad, or in between. It's fun.
I think the rankings are a good thing just to keep the community competitive.
Yeah.
I think it helps drive people, and I think it helps add it's like, oh man, I didn't make it, I really want to be on it. Or, oh man, this guy, I think I'm better than this guy. Maybe I need to prove it, kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, we did the first rankings that we posted since we took over recently, and like the revive of NJR, was 20 players. We upped it to 30 because the community got bigger. If the community keeps getting bigger, we'll keep doing bigger rankings. Like GWR does 100, which is insane, but hopefully we can get there one day.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I really think we can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going. Question number 2 is also for Miguel. For the listeners, if you send in questions on a weekly basis, I need you to put a little something. You'd like to remain anonymous if the question, is spicy, and we will honor that. You have my word. In this instance here, none of these questions are crazy. Maybe a few later, I'll go anonymous just for the sake of, being PC a little bit. Okay. Second question for Miguel Canet from North Jersey is actually for yours truly. And by that I mean Matt's truly. When is Matt going to start posting tutorial videos?
So,
it's a good question.
It's a good question. I mean, I've had other people ask me that too. I don't want to really dig into the coaching side of RoundNet. Not yet. I don't think as of right now, I don't think I'm too good of a coach. I think I can get a point across. I think I can teach something. But I think I still have a lot to learn myself. And I don't really want to start giving people information that I'm not 100% confident in. I wouldn't want to give someone bad info ever. If I ever get to the point where I'm 100% confident in my ability, maybe. But as of now, I have no plans on doing anything for it. And I think it's going to be that way for a little bit. I like my fun content. I don't want to really push and dive into that seriousness.
Fair enough. I mean, there certainly seems to be more people in the space attacking that coaching aspect. And I think that there definitely is a need for it. And it's probably helpful to some. But I respect Matt's take. It's like he wants to fire off good stuff that he's confident in. And when you get to the level of player you want to be, maybe you have a change of heart. But for now, I like it. Do you want to take the next couple? Do you have them on your phone as well?
Yeah.
You want me
okay.
Take one or two.
This one I want to ask you, since
Okay.
I'm a newer one. So
Sure.
We got, what is a lemon lad, and what are the goals of a lad? I actually wrote this question down to ask you as well, because I wanted to hear your take on where we're going.
Yeah.
So, what is a lad? We don't have to explain the origin. That's in a past podcast. So you guys can go listen to that one. So what's a lad?
So right now, a lemon lad is someone who has a desire to practice, sort of obsess over the game that we all love, have like some sort of love for the game. Has to be someone who gets along with our group. So as the Lemon Lad group itself grows, we're not looking to add people just for the sake of adding people. It's a great group. We could call on people, not even round net related. If I needed something or needed help, I would feel comfortable calling Matt and being like, hey, could you help me with X, Y, Z? I would. So it's like the group right now is a group of friends first and foremost, and people that care about each other on a personal level and a human level, and then also seeing each other grow. Right now, we do have a benchmark for players. Basically, like a contender-ish level would be like that benchmark that shows us that you're like seriously committed to playing and trying to improve. We're a group of guys that like to enjoy, a good time, a good tournament, going out after, having some fun, and growing a little bit. So I'm glad the question was asked, because over the past 2-3 weeks, we've had, I'd say, 4 to 8 actual almost pro level players reach out. I guess I should say high premier. I shouldn't say pro. And being like, hey, listen, we're interested. I want to either A, get on the podcast, or B, what does it look like? How do we join, the ranks of the Lemon Lads? And just to be completely upfront, we haven't decided how we're going to handle that, because personally, I'd like to see the group grow. But it is very important. The nucleus of any discussion that pertains to new members is we all need to get along, and it needs to be something fun. Our group conversation on Discord is always lighthearted and fun, looking to find ways to make the game, more exciting, to help each other out, to do things on our off trips. The one biggest perk to being a Lemon Lad really is we each year take a trip to the Caribbean where we spike. We go deep sea fishing. We go snorkeling. We're in St. Thomas, USVI. It's an incredible trip, and that's really the main what's the big deal about the Lemon Lads? A, we're all improving at this game. B, we're a good group of friends first and foremost. And C, it comes with the perk of this badass trip to the Caribbean, which we've now capitalized on as a group. And next time we go, I hope there'll be more of us that can go and make the trek, even if we're there for a week and somebody can come for the first few or the last few. So yeah, that really is what it is right now. We've had some interest from people outside of our general circle, and we're it's brewing. Thoughts on how to handle it is brewing, because we want to keep it kind of centralized, but we also don't there are some great people, and you've made some great relationships for people you meet at tournaments, and housing certain people. Where, for example, Kieran, we talked about it a little bit. I really genuinely have love for Kieran, and I would love for him to get to know our group, because for me, he would be someone that I would personally be interested in bringing into our group, our ranks, however you want to put it. But essentially what we're working on right now behind the scenes is all of the members are going to have a certain amount of bids per year where they can bring someone's name to the table, and then we vote and see if that's a good fit. Depending on your how long your tenure is with the Lads, you could have 2, 3 in a year. You can, if you want to bring on a high profile player, maybe it's a free bid here or there. We'll see. We're working it out on the back end, but yeah, that's basically it. That's basically who the Lemon Lads are and sort of where we're going as a group. But really, the crux of it is we're really just, it's no BS, it's no drama, it's all fun, and it's all a good time. So that's the Lemon Lad spiel. I'm going back to you with these questions.
Oh boy.
2 of them, both submitted by one of your bros from back home, John.
I love this guy.
Yeah, John's a maniac, man, but I freaking love him. I love his energy.
He was my roommate in college for 3 years. That's the background.
Yes.
So.
Okay, he says, is Matt Spo the ugliest spike ball player? And he has a 2-part question. Also, is Matt Spo the ugliest round net player? So he wants to know either or. I think he just meant I think he just wanted to ask it twice to hammer this home. John, we're getting to your questions no matter what, so you don't have to send it twice. We will answer it. So I feel it's a little egotistical to answer the question on his own, although I think the question was funny, but we're going to answer it here and now. No, Matt Spo is not the ugliest round net player in the game. Matt Spo is, I'd say, of the top, 9 to 12% when it comes to good looks in the world of round net, because there's a couple ugly mugs in the round net community, and it's not a problem. It's a good place. It's fun. But there's a few faces out there that, only their mothers can love, and it's no big deal because we still all, come together as a community. So that's your answer, John. The answer is no.
I'm going to add to that, to his other question of why is Matt Spo the ugliest spike ball player?
Oh, yeah.
I just want to say that's just a jealousy thing. He's just a little jealous about where I'm at versus where he's at kind of thing, dude. Yeah. I think he wishes to be me. Around the net, on the court. Someone who lifts so much and can't move their legs like a 20-year-old man he is, just, looks awkward. Looks awkward out there. But that's okay.
We'll throw a few pictures of John. He's also has an incredible physique, unless he's lost it from last summer. But John, you're a handsome guy as well, so don't let him get to you. Let's see here.
I got one.
Go ahead.
This is from this anonymous guy.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is podcast goals now that the Lemon Lads brand is growing. What do we mean by what do you think this guy means by the Lemon Lads brand is growing? What's something that's been going on that, although some people might not know?
What are you referencing?
Well, I'm referencing these member announcements, all right?
Oh.
So these, finally, Lemon Lads, they've had their Instagram up. They've been posting their clips. It's sick videos. Kyle Keenan is caking Lucas's serve. Everybody loves to see that. But who's in the lemons? Who's a lemon? Who's not a lemon? Is this just a friend? Who's I want to know the names. So when I came on, I kind of wanted to help out with the Instagram a little bit. I wanted to hone it in, make it more clear. We're doing member announcements. I think that's a huge part of it. They're personal highlight reels. It's not just round net. It's mostly personal life. They're sick reels. Please go watch them. Show some love to everybody. We're all proud of it. It's some sick videos we got going up there. Check them out. I think that's an awesome thing that we have going right now. And as far as the brand growing and the pod growing, like we said, weekly episodes, and we want the Lemon Lads to be known. We don't care about who's in it. We don't need pro players to be in it. We're just a group of friends who just love having fun. So we're going to do that. And if people know our name, they know our name. But we're just going to have a blast doing it. And we're going to make the most out of it. That's the biggest thing.
If you have time to get over to Lemon Lads RoundNet, no underscores, no nothing. Go to on IG first and foremost, Lemon Lads RoundNet. We're having a friendly competition that, as of right now, yours truly is in the lead. Most likes on their member announcement post. So for one, I'm in the lead. I think I have close to 100 likes on my post. I'm 32. I should not be winning this competition. So when you hear this, I would like for you to go to the Lemon Lads RoundNet Instagram page and run the numbers up, because the 32-year-old is kicking the asses of all these 20-year-olds who are hot on the social media grind. I don't have that many followers, but we're doing the damn thing, and I appreciate all the support. Because Mike Garrett, your numbers are weak. Ryan Paul, your numbers are pretty good. Jake's numbers were surprisingly good as well. Kyle, the boys, your videos were fantastic. I was wondering if the momentum was going to grow and each one would get more traction like that via likes, views, all things in between.
Instagram's weird like that. Sometimes you could post super consistent and you'll do better with each post, but sometimes you could post every single day and it's just kind of tracking. As of right now, views wise, RP, our first post is the highest views. And it's all been kind of down and at a plateau right now.
Gotcha.
But but likes are all over the place. I think it's gonna hit eventually. I don't think it's one of those things because we're still growing. It's not gonna like go viral. Nobody all followers are gonna see it. Our people we share who on our stories, they're gonna see it, but it's not gonna be like on your For You page. But we just want it there so people can look back. Like Trash Roundnet has it. They have all their member announcements at the bottom. I've gone back every once in a while, looked at it. I think it's good. It's good to have.
It is really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, question for you. I'm gonna keep this anonymous too. They didn't specifically ask to remain anonymous, but I'm gonna keep it anonymous. And I'm gonna ask you the question because you, Maddie, were in Columbus this weekend. Rogue losing 4 straight games this weekend. A, is it a big deal? And B, do you still think that the championship is theirs to lose, even given the result this weekend? And after you finish, I have one thing to add, but I want you to take this one because you were there.
So, I wouldn't say... So, yeah, they matter. I don't think they matter a lot, but those losses do matter, especially to Thomas and Ryan. Like, it's going to be... I'm sure it was tough for them to deal with it. To go from winning every single tournament you go to not making a podium is it's crushing. I feel for them. I think, knowing Ryan personally, I think he's going to be that guy who's going to go back in the lab and he's going to be grinding his ass off for a long time until the championship. As far as is the championship still theirs to lose, I think it's exactly that. I think it's theirs to lose. They have the skill, as they've shown this whole season, to be dominant. And I think they're the favorites. I wouldn't say anybody else has a clear one besides them. They just have to show up and play. I mean, everybody has a bad day. Columbus could just been a bad day. From what I saw, I didn't get to watch them a lot. I was watching Gabe. But what I saw and heard is that there's just errors that happen. People have bad days. Some people need a rest, and that's okay. They're going to come back swinging. I don't think anybody's going to look at them any differently. I think some people will be more scared of them coming back, firing, wanting that championship.
A couple points I'd love to make. One is their team name, Rogue, comes from some sort of anime, Naruto or something like that. Anthony was telling me a little bit about it, but I don't really know a ton about it. But I did read and was listening to my friend Ant, who is another Lemon lad, talk to me about like story arcs in these animes. And think about anything, a movie, book, anything that you're really interested in. No great story is this all the way till the culmination of, the end. I feel like what I'm getting at is this is sort of like their mountain to climb. This is a little bit of like a valley, something they have to overcome in their movie. And I think it's going to end up being good for you guys. Maybe a little reinvigorated. And I think it'll be a little bit like Matt referenced, a little bit of a spark for those that love to grind. And dude, I look forward to seeing like how well they fire back in the next one. I really freaking do. And second point I want to make. I love friendly but competitive and fun chirps. I really do. I think they're fun. And I think there's a little bit of heat between Ryan Marino and Will Pacone. I don't think that they're enemies, but I definitely don't think that they're pals. And I loved Ryan. I know you guys ultimately lost, so the ultimate chirp is losing, I guess. But it was a great chirp, and I don't know if you picked up on it. Have you watched the film back on it?
I have not gotten a chance to watch back yet.
He aces the bananas off of Will Pacone, and it was one of those left-rights, and as he zips in with the ball, he says, "Where's he going?" He asks Thomas, like, where was he going? Yes. I loved it. It was so cold, because, like, I've gotten into this habit now where, like, I'm saying, like, like, got him when I serve. I don't even know where it came from, but, like, yeah, he ripped him one, and he was like, where's he going? He, like, asked his partner, It was badass. It was cold-blooded. Ryan, good for you, man. It was awesome. It was
He's a
freaking
character,
awesome.
dude. I love Ryan.
Yeah, no, I heard nothing but good things about
Yeah.
Ryan. My third point is kind of transitions from the question to a little bit of rankings. If the rankings that come from Round Network, if Round Network's rankings come out, they like to do one every week or so when there's a tournament, they're pumping them out quickly. If Round Network takes the results this weekend and removes Rogue from first, their rankings this year are completely devalued, and it's just complete bullshit because there's no shot a team can be that dominant and be just a wrecking ball for the whole season, have one tournament where they make a semifinals and lose 4 in a row. Like, they lost a third, fourth place game, and from what I heard, they were really going for it too. So it's a loss is a loss. But if they take them and they move them to like 3, you know what I mean? And they put like Judgment Day, who Gabe's our guy. If they put like Rogue to 3 and Judgment Day to 2 because Judgment Day beat them in the third, fourth place game, that is so stupid. So I guess time will tell, and we'll see the volatility of the rankings list. I understand tournament to tournament how important it is, and how like one result can shake things up. Cool. But there's no shot, there's no chance that they shouldn't still be number one team. And if Round Network makes that move, it's just a bad look. But only time will tell. We shall see. Do you want to take?
I think that'll be interesting, actually. Backing off of that Round Network rankings. I mean, they've been doing it weekly. There's been recency biased in them. Semi-good, semi-bad. Like, you would see if one team pops off a week, like InSystem did it one week and they jumped a couple spots just from that one tournament. And, like, they've kind of proven themselves in that spot. So I'm not completely disagreeing. I'm not going to agree with you. I don't think they're too BS. I'm a fan of them. I like the friendly competition. But if you think about it, AT, Assistive Touch, was in that lead spot way before they even played the first tournament. I think it might have been up to Richmond or up till after Richmond where Assistive Touch was still number 1 on those rankings. And now they're not even top 5. So I think they're pretty solid. I think with the board of the Round Network ranking people, I think they will still have Rogue at 1. I don't think they would change that based on how dominant they've been. And it wasn't. Yeah, no. I don't think Bad Combo's going to shoot up like 3 spots because of it either. I think they might shoot up a spot.
Yeah.
But I don't think Rogue's going to drop down. I really don't.
And honestly, everything you just said, I back.
Yeah.
But I've heard a few whispers, and I don't ever give away sources, that there's going to be a major shifts.
Yeah, that's going to be.
And I
we'll
think
have to see.
We'll have to see.
Yeah,
but
we won't know.
those things are frustrating. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I guess time will tell. And ultimately, it gets people talking about it, which that should be the goal. You know, goal achieved. It's still fun. Don't get me wrong, it's still fun.
Definitely.
But it devalues it slightly. And I know, because I spoke a little bit with Kieran, I know some of the people that are on the board, and there are a lot of people that know a lot about what's going on and have good minds. But, you know, I don't know. That would just be freaking weird. But
It would be weird.
It'd be weird.
Yeah.
Time will tell. Do you have any more of these questions that we're in? We have to make sure we get to everybody. Like, for instance, I'll do it for you, actually.
Okay.
The Dot Ball, we had a submission from Dot Ball, which is a sponsorship for Maddie's Jersey Boys team for the season. Got to have the logo on the back and Dot Ball. I don't know a ton about it, but I know it's a spike ball-ish variant with paddles. I know there's different bounces that can take place. It's not an exact replica of round net, but it's done with paddles. And it's not a net, it's a flat board.
It's like a table.
It's like a tabletop, right. But the game does look really fun, and they've put out some good info. So, their question, would playing Dot Ball 360, didn't know it was called Dot Ball 360, be good for round net? Defense, focus, reading angles, footwork, movement? It's a good question.
So I got a chance to play it a bunch. I'm a huge fan of this. I'm a huge fan of it. It's a lot. I brought it to vacation with me at the beach a couple weeks ago, and it was the hit of the vacation. Like, we had spike ball, we had dot ball. We wanted to play dot ball over spike ball most of the time. It's not meant for the beach, but we loved it on the beach. The beach was a hit. We found ourselves playing it in the street one night. It was like just rained, bad beach day. Rain stopped. We're in the street playing this game with bounces. Now it's more fun. We got more rallies. As far as it being good for round net, I think yes, to the point where it's very similar to round net with your footwork and defense. Yes, you have to read the set. You have to adjust by the set. Having the pickleball paddles is good for hand-eye. I don't know if it's going to directly translate to hand-eye with round net because of the grip on the ball versus no grip on a ball and you're just smacking a paddle. Definitely defensively though. I do also want to use that to kind of segue into pickleball. Have you been playing pickleball at all recently?
A little bit.
I have been a huge fan of it recently, and not just because it's a super fun game. I found that it is directly translating my footwork from pickleball to spike ball. The back and forth footwork, if you're playing singles especially, is so helpful. It hurts on the knees on that court, but I sound old when I say that.
You do sound old.
But no, it is so much fun, and nothing else translates, I don't think, except for that footwork, the side-to-side agility, the shuffling back and forth. It's a blast. If you haven't gotten paddles yet, go get $20 paddles and play it. It's so fun. But it's back to dot ball. Dot ball is pickleball mixed with spike ball. If you like both, you're going to love dot ball. It's super fun. You can get competitive. You can play for fun. I played it with a bunch of spike ball guys. We all loved it. We were getting some sick rallies. Stay tuned. I'll be posting about it shortly. But it's a blast. I saw a buddy was playing recently with Ryan, who owns it, and there's some sick rallies going. Super laid back, super fun. Yeah, but definitely defense can translate. Yeah.
Sweet little shameless plug for dot ball, but
yeah,
I think it would be a cool beach variant game where you can use a lot of your round net movement, still stay active, and play. I think dot ball's badass. I'd like to try it.
It's super fun. I'll get you on it soon.
Yeah, I'd like to try it. Here's an interesting question. This comes from, it comes from Matthew. You know how to pronounce it? Tianco. Matthew Tianco is a contender level player, plays in New Jersey. Do you know how long Matthew's been playing?
I don't. I saw him this year, earlier this year playing. In my first tournament I went to with Dimitri up in Connecticut, he was there and he was playing. I don't know how long he's been playing. I think this might be his first competitive season. But that's all I know about him.
Okay, so a couple tidbits. One, his team that he plays on, the team name is Put It In My Hand. Maybe that means give me the ball. I'm not quite sure, but either way, if so, that's pretty cool. He asked, how are neither teammates from team name Put It In My Hand ranked on the NJR rankings? Again, not to, regurgitate what was said earlier, but because we have a lot more people in the community actively playing, our list needs to expand. And I think it will at the end of the season. You guys both should be on the list. You will be on the list. And I was very impressed with both of you guys in the tournament we did in Robbinsville, where you both made it to the finals. You and your partner, Jason, I thought you guys played really well. I know you're practicing a lot. I see you guys in the Discord grinding in North Jersey, Central Jersey, maybe a little bit of both, and playing a ton. Keep doing that. And don't make it so if no pickup is happening, you can't keep grinding too. A lot of the best progress you'll make in this game is doing things on your own, drills, even if it's just you and Jason with your team. Get together and do setting and hitting drills with the balls up against the wall, out back. It doesn't have to be, pickup. You guys are both moving in the right direction. Keep playing with players that are going to challenge you and push you. Go play in the games where you're going to lose. Be okay with losing. And, try to say, I'm going to score 12 points this game, 15 points the next. keep grinding, because you guys you're both natural athletes, young, hungry. I have nothing but good things to say about both of you guys, and excited as you continue to grind in the contender division. Getting Premier, I think, in complete transparency, be difficult this year because the competition is so high and there aren't very many opportunities left. But if you guys stay on the grind throughout the off season, keep linking up with people, find places to play when it's either not too cold in the winter months or a place inside. Keep going, because the contender division will be ripe for the picking for both of you guys next year. So, long-winded answer. Why are we not on the rankings? You're going to be, and you should be. So
keep
just
grinding.
Yeah,
keep
stay
grinding.
tuned.
One thing I'm going to tell you guys, a little tidbit: film. The best way to improve your game fastest is by filming yourself playing. I cannot stress this enough. I've heard it from pros like Ryder, Preston. They were big on it when they were early on in their stages. I hear it from everybody from levels of pro down to low premier. You need to film yourself. I had somebody DM me the other day asking what's a tip I can do to get better. Understand what you're doing wrong and figure out what that is to fix it. And the best way by doing that is being able to look over your shoulder when you're playing. I wish I could see myself when I'm not filming to see how am I contacting the ball? How am I moving on defense? How am I rotating on defense? Why did I miss this ball but I got this ball? Why did this cut but this not cut when it felt the same? Filming will be your answer to everything. That's my little sidebar, little tidbit tip for everybody else.
And I'm glad you asked the question, and I'm glad we were able to go on a little bit of this little rant, because there's a lot of players right now. I could rattle off 10 names right now of players in your similar spots that want to continue to improve, looking for ways to get better, looking for ways to get an edge that will translate into more wins and a great 2024 campaign for our group, our New Jersey RoundNet group. So don't be afraid to reach out to people. I'm a little bit far away, but if there was a central place, you can shoot me a message direct. I'd love to get together and play with you guys. I haven't done a pickup with you guys, but I think it would be freaking awesome. So keep practicing and keep on it, because really sky's the limit for both of you guys. And the couple of dudes that you played in the finals, whose names are escaping me.
That was Matt Manfredi.
Okay.
And did he play with his brother?
Not in Robbinsville.
No, he didn't.
He played with Fung. Last name.
Yes,
Fung.
it was Matt Manfredi and Brandon Fung, little brother to Donald Fung.
Gotcha.
Premier guy. It's super, super solid player.
Okay. There you go. Both of those guys too. Improving players. A couple other names. Ruben Chang improving. Posting a lot of great stuff too. He's active on social media, posting RoundNet stuff. There's a lot of guys down here too. Patrick Fazio, who's on the grind, just bought a Premier Spike set, been practicing a ton. Jason Davis, one of our Lemon lads, practicing a ton. There's a lot of guys right now on the cusp of being a really dangerous contender team, and it really is just going to take some hard work. You're going to put in the work, you're going to see it translate. I thought last year I could just show up to tournament, not practice, not get to the high-level pickups, and one of these tournaments it'll just happen. It will not happen. You have to practice, you have to put in the time away from the tournaments. I did that this whole off-season. I went absolutely bananas, practicing 4-5 times a week. Like Matt said, I would record myself, whether it be a serving drill, a hitting drill, a setting drill, go back and look when the set was solid, how was my form, what was happening, and try and break it down. Like I said, long-winded answer, but you guys have a ton of potential, and I look forward to the off-season grind with everyone as we push towards a 2024 season, which is a New Jersey RoundNet come-up. A perfect transition. Matt, take it from here, if you could. The New Jersey RoundNet jerseys.
Yes.
I guess everyone at this point in time will have probably ordered, but if not, talk about it.
Yeah, we just we're getting New Jersey RoundNet jerseys, and this is huge. We've never had any any jersey of any kind for our group, for our community. It's great for the players. I think it's great when I go to tournaments and I see the same jersey everywhere. Ones that stand out is like the California round net jerseys. Those are sick. Boston round net just recently got new ones. They look really solid. And it's just, I love seeing the different communities and how they like to incorporate their group and express themselves through their jerseys. We have sick ones coming out. I'm not going to put it in the podcast. I want it to be a surprise coming in.
Cool.
Hopefully for the championship. NJR is going to be repping. It's going to be huge. We have a lot of orders coming in. We're going to keep it to the community for now. We want to expand it to outside the community in a little bit, but we want our guys to get first looks at it. But yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be sick to see these jerseys everywhere.
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited to get it on, in a variety of ways. Get it on the court. What does everyone say?
Court, field,
net, circle,
anything.
Sphere.
It's not a sphere. That's wrong.
That's
wrong. Definitely wrong. Yeah, it's like,
that is so wrong.
The court.
The ring?
I hear a lot of court.
Ring?
The ring.
It is a
Ooh,
ring.
in the ring.
The rings?
I like that.
That's
I like the
cool.
ring. The ring sounds the best so far.
I have some questions too. Time wise, we're still doing great, so we're just gonna keep flying along here. Let's go back and forth. We've gotten through all the questions that were submitted outside of one of the questions from one of my hometown homies by the name of Josh as well. He says, us common folk want to play too. Josh, I apologize. I've been all over traveling, playing in tournaments galore, but we have to get back up. And again, we need to get you a set, and you need to be practicing because next season, I want to see you out at some freaking tournaments. Don't be giving me this, I want to play all the time, but not want to play in the tournaments. And that's a shout out.
Josh, why can't you play? You need Josh to play?
No, he doesn't.
What is this? I'm sure you know 3 other people, or I'm sure you have a wall you can hit against.
We got to get him a net.
Plenty of resources. Do you have a ball?
No, I have to give him balls, and we have to get him a net this offseason.
Spikeball.com.
Yep.
PremierSpike.com.
Yep. I'll split it with you. Let's go. Let's get it. Christmas.
Don't blame it on Josh. All right, get your ass off the couch and start grinding. I want to see you on the court.
Yes,
I want to see you in the ring. In the ring, baby. Come on.
All right. So Matt and Josh, questions for each other. Doesn't necessarily have to be questions like about me and you if you don't want. If you just want me to answer a question about like a current event or something happening in the community, fire away. My first question for you is this. Is the team bad combo just maybe that? Are they just a bad combo? Are they a bad combination? They went into the year with, being more or less bad combo as in like the bad boys, the guys that are willing to shake it up, talk a little shit, get fired up, kick a few nets, smash a few balls, punt a few balls after aces. But really, did they sort of just come into the season and ultimately end up as like a bad combination, like not the team they wanted to be? What do you think?
I think they're that. I think coming into the season, I'm sure they had high hopes. 2 great players, 2 top 20 players in the world. You could say even probably top 15 players in the world. Fantastic players, fantastic skill level. But I think this goes to show how important chemistry is in round net. I think it's the most underrated skill as a team that people should think of. You can't just put 2 all-stars together and expect it to be perfect. You need to have chemistry. You need to be able to mesh well. And I don't think that Will and Raul mesh as much as they could. I mean, maybe if they were to play for a couple seasons, they could. I don't know what their goal is. But as we've seen so far, they've played tournaments now, and they're getting better results. This second place at a major is huge for them. That's exactly what they need coming into the championship. But they could have had a good day. It could have just been that. I think their chemistry isn't where they wanted it to be, or maybe they just don't mesh well. It's just something that people might just have to accept when you're looking for a teammate. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, their result in Columbus aside, because the result there was solid.
Yeah, they played well.
I lean towards your answer. So, was it a little bit of a coming into their own? Was it their sort of breakout tourney? I guess we shall see.
Yeah.
But for right now, I think I'd lean towards maybe they're just not the best pair, and maybe they're just better friends.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just meant to be bros and not be partners for, let's for instance say 2025. If they're both looking to push the envelope and try and take home a title, but a great team nonetheless. And that's my first question for Matt. Matt, go ahead, fire one at me if you could.
So a big thing that I've listened back to a couple of episodes of the podcast, and we'll keep this short, but you never explained your round net story in any of the pods. You're always asking the questions. No one's asking you the questions. I don't want this to go on forever because round net stories can take a long time. I'll narrow it down to this. What was the first time you ever saw a spike ball set?
First time I ever saw a spike ball set was on the beach vacationing in maybe 2018.
You played that day, or was that the first time you kind of saw it and was
That's
like,
the first
wow,
time
what is this?
First time I played. I probably
Okay.
saw it on the beach prior.
Yeah.
That was the first time I played.
Okay. Just for fun, vacation?
Yeah, patty cake.
All right. So now, coming from that,
Mm-hmm.
when would you say you saw it and you were like, wow, I could play this competitively? They do tournaments for this? How do I do that? When was your first idea of that?
Okay. My brother-in-law, Sean Champion, he shot me a text and said, hey, there's a spike ball tournament on the beach in Wildwood, New Jersey on July 4th weekend. Do you want to play? And we had played a little bit together. I said, I like to compete. Haven't done anything since I played soccer in college. Sure, frigate. Let's go. Let's play. Went, caught the bug, played in the lowest division, but it was like I was hooked after that. Started practicing. Went to a few more tournaments here on the East Coast and in New Jersey in the tri-state area, and became absolutely obsessed and fell in love with the game.
All right. And then, so that was your first tournament, that Wildwood tournament?
Yes, it was.
All right. I think that's it's just good to know because I didn't even know that about you. We never really talked about that. We always talk about what's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's cool for listeners to give an idea of like your background a little bit, when you started, why you started. I think it's cool to see. And that was only, what would you say, 2018 or 2019 when you did the Wildwood tournament?
That was when I first played for the first time for fun in 2018-ish. But the Wildwood tournament was 2021. That was the first time I actually played, and
Your first tournament being a beach tournament in 2021
mm-hmm.
to now you playing Premier, taking down big dogs like Brendan and Noah in pool play.
Let the big dogs eat.
Yeah, dude, that's insane. That's
Yeah.
goes to show how much you can grow in this sport at a quick rate if you put your mind to it. It's just awesome to see.
It's a good vantage point for somebody that's getting into it now and wondering where could I be in a year and a half, too. Yeah, you just keep going. You could really get to whatever level you really want. Don't shy away. Practice, and if you get obsessed with the game, like a lot of us have, sky's the limit. Yeah, it's addicting.
It's like coffee. It's terrible.
It is. It's a great exercise too. It's a great workout.
It's so good.
And it's a great community. So it really has no downsides except for a little bit expensive to travel sometimes if you want to go to the big tournaments and compete.
Yeah.
Okay, my question number 2 for Matt Spo is, we've talked a lot about partners in 2024. I'm not going to ask you who do you want to play with in 2024. We've already kind of talked about that a little bit, but forget that. I want to know for you, if you could design your own partner from scratch, what would a partner that complements Matt Spo's play style look like, play like? What would their strong suits be? How would you design your perfect partner?
This is a lot to load on me right now.
It is.
It is.
You can take you can take the question in any direction.
Yeah. I would say my perfect partner, I need to be friends with them first off. I need to be able to talk to them like I've known them for years. I want to be able to talk to them and just hang out with them with no spike ball net around. It has to be someone that I can have fun with. Number one, I think I play the best when I'm having fun, when we're just making the best of the tournament. I can get in my head sometimes. I've been good with tournaments, but if I can have fun, I'll play well. That's a big thing for me. So, skill-wise, I'm still at a point where my hitting isn't the greatest. I need someone to have a really good set to set very well, and I think more of a power server would be ideal for my situation right now, because I don't think I give a lot of serve pressure compared to a lot of these other premier guys. So I like to do a safety serve where it's like it's not a put on by any means, but it's a high percentage serve, and it's easy to read. A lot of times people get it up, but it still aces every once in a while. It's so having someone who will swing hard both serves next to me is a big confidence booster on that end, where it's like, okay, I'm not supplying a lot of serve pressure. This guy will, and we'll get defensive touches either way. I think that's huge for me. But yeah, I think
those are good points. Well,
yeah.
think about the things that you laid out. Someone that you're friends with, someone you can spend time with, in and out of spike ball that you get along with. Someone you can maybe even conversate, before, during, and after tournaments about strats, things that went well, things you could work on, etc. 2, power server. 3, a fantastic setter.
Yes. As of now.
As of now. Do you know who?
Beggars can't be choosers.
Do you know who this reminds me of?
Gabe?
Oh yes. You think you just described Corey,
I mean,
which I love.
I will say yes. So aside from setting, I think me and Corey have meshed well because of that. We've played together for so long that we've kind of adapted our own play style off of each other.
Yeah.
It's like because Corey took that role of serving, I was able to lead back and focus more on a good second serve, a high percentage serve, focus on one serve versus trying to pull everything out the bag. I think that's why chemistry is so important. Playing with the same person, being able to adapt with that person, and be able to play off of each other is going to be so huge. I think me and Corey grew so well together as a team because we were a team, because we played with each other versus matching up all the time. I didn't match up until this year. This is the first year I ever matched up, and my first tournament was 2021, and even the local tournaments I didn't match up. It was always just me and Corey at every tournament until this year, and I think it helps a lot finding that partner, a seasoned partner who you mesh well with, and just adapting and playing off of each other, not just playing with each other.
Yeah. One thing I want to build off of what you said is not that you guys have been pool play warriors. You guys have had some good results outside of it, but I really think you've shined in games when you've played teams you're supposed to beat with your consistency and how you guys really aren't slow starters. Your pool play results have been very good.
I'm happy with pool play results other than Philly. I don't want to talk about Philly.
No,
we didn't show up in Philly. That was just a bad showing from both of us. But yeah, no.
But again, that was a point diff that had you guys out. It wasn't necessarily that you guys, it was you had the same record as the team that got in at 32.
Yeah, it was bad point diff. But yeah, no, we like to come out swinging. We like to come out hard, which is different this year than last year. Last year we were kind of slow to getting warmed up. We always said first game is just gonna be the worst game. It doesn't matter. But we've been coming out swinging and we've been coming out on top a lot. And that's super cool. I feel like we had a harder pool in Columbus, one of the harder pools, having Glitch and CS both in our pools. But we were able to take advantage of that and go 5-1, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah, it's very, very good result.
Yeah, I can't.
It's a very good result.
I'm going to say I'm a little upset with how I played against CS, but I cannot be upset about splitting with national champions. So you kind of have to pick your battles.
Yeah.
But it was a blast. It was so fun. Our pool plays have been good. Yeah, I'm happy with them.
You've been really solid. And in Long Island, too, you guys had a little bit of some kind of poise about you, too, where it was just like, yeah, man, like, they're not going to lose to anybody that they shouldn't, which is nice. And then you may make the argument, well, you shouldn't have lost to Max and his partner Ricky from New
Ricky,
York.
yep.
It could be true. I thought Max hit another gear at some point in time and played really exceptionally well.
It's Max Modell. You got to give that to him.
He's a freaking monster, bro. He really is. But, okay, go for me if you could with your next question. I have a few more for you, and we're winding down, but we could definitely hit a few more questions.
Okay. What are your goals for next season?
That's my question 3. That's sick. That's the exact question I have for your question 3. Okay, so I like to set goals that are sort of achievable, but I like short-term and long-term goals. So, for instance, short-term goal, work my ass off the rest of this season into the off-season and land myself with a badass partner for the 2024 season. One that says, I'll play the season with you. I'll travel with to most of the majors. I'm willing to get on a plane. I'll do X, Y, Z. I'll do all that shit. Cool. Long-term goal for the season is I want to be like on a team. I want to be like the profit boost of 2024. Like that good. Like a top 20 team consistently. But maybe it doesn't happen even for them in their first tournament. Maybe they play a few off-season ones together, maybe a few local ones together, and they just build that chemistry and they play in enough tournaments to get like the cohesion down. And I want to be on a top 20 team next year. Is it lofty? Sure. But I had many people last year when I told them what my goals were for this year, where my level was last year, that were like, we'll see. So I really don't give a damn. I'd prefer people go, that's a little out of your range maybe. I'd prefer that than someone go, I could see it.
Get fired up.
Yeah, I don't care because it's not going to stop me from going.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, like even playing with Mike. You could ask Mike. Mike would be honest. Mike's a very straight shooter. I played with Mike in Long Island, Michael Garrett. I talked to Mike. I said, last year when I spoke to him, I said, next year when I get Premier, you and I have to run one. And he looked at me almost just like, come on. And he was right at the time, but I knew where I'd be this season. And what happened this season? We ran one, and it was freaking fantastic. Mike is easily my favorite person to play with at this point in time. We're going to run the Christmas Classic together. It's a blast. He's a savage, and it's fun. So my goals for next year, I want to be on a top 20 team in the would it be world?
It
country?
Would be world.
However.
If you're going off these BS round network rankings that you talk about.
Yeah, we'll have our own rankings by then, and probably a few other outlets will have their rankings. So yeah, and I want to like threaten at a few tournaments too. Like I want to be like round of 8 is like the worst I do. Maybe not at majors, but like the challengers. Like round of 8 is absolutely the worst result you're gonna get, and actually be threatening.
That's
so
a good goal.
I'm gonna fire it back to you because I think it's exciting.
It is.
What are your goals for next season?
I'm gonna say with how I played this season and how our results came, I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that I want to be in pro next year. I think that's doable with the right partner. I need to grind myself this offseason. I need to go hard. I need to really get my serving up and really get my hitting up. But being able to do that and have a partner that'll travel, like you said, go around, really just connect with, would be huge. I think short-term goal would be a podium at a tour stop. That would be absolutely insane.
It's a really cool goal.
That would be so cool. The glassware is nuts. It's so cool to see that. But I think my main goal is pro. That's something that I really want to fight for, and I'm going to grind for. I want that. I want it bad.
I could see it for you too, bro, which is why it's exciting, man. I don't think that it's not doable. I think it would take the right partner with the right level of commitment and somebody that complements your game. And obviously we have things to work on in the off season, both of us. We have strong suits, weak suits, places that if we just up it like by 25%, like your whole game improves overall by like 10%, which is massive. So yeah, that was my follow-up question to you. Do you have any more for me?
I do not.
Okay.
Actually, I guess one would be this would be a good segue too. I think. Or unless you have another question.
I'm good. No, I'm good.
Okay. So this would be a good segue up into our next our next topic is the Connecticut Ethan Song Tournament. For you are matching up with Josh Hutko. This isn't a player you're relatively close with. This guy is a random matchup found off the free agent list, and this is your first time doing that, correct?
First time.
Yeah. You usually play with all your boys close to home.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts going into it?
I am cautiously optimistic with how Josh and I will do this weekend. I've played against him a few times now, and I know he has fantastic hitting, serve pressure when his serves are landing are very dangerous because he's a powerful dude. We'll see how we work together and how our play styles mesh. I have tempered expectations, but I really want to get to the round of 8, and it sounds like round of 8, but no, I think if we do well in pool play, we ended up getting the 2 seed in our group. If we do well in pool play and are able to snag a top spot and have a first round matchup that is favorable for us, and then a second round matchup that's against a hard team, sky's the limit. So I'm excited. I really, really have a good vibe with my pal Josh. This is our new cat. I'm excited. So talk me through what's going on with you this weekend.
I'm playing with Mike Garrett, fellow Lemon. We're excited. We've been wanting to run one for a while. We've been trying to do some local tournaments that just never worked out. This will be our first one. I'm happy it's a tour stop. I am. I think we're gonna make some waves with it. I think we're gonna show up, and we're gonna just have fun. We have nothing on the line. This is gonna be hopefully ending the regular season, I guess, before the championship with a bang. I'm really looking forward to it. We ended up with the 2 seed in our pool as well. I think we can do well. I think we'll be very strong defensively. I think it's gonna be hard to hit around us. If we can just fire and have that wow factor offensively, I'm not worried about it. I think we'll do well.
Who's the pro team in your pool?
We have mids as our 1 seed. That is Caleb Cummings and Dawson Morgan. I play both.
That's a good team.
It's a great team. Yeah, they're 2 very solid players. It's not gonna be easy if we want to take them down, but I think anything can happen. You guys have Hilltop.
We have Hilltop.
I think that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. It'll be a good experience. Obviously, they're gonna be tough to hit around.
Yeah.
I do think that if Josh and I are both serving at our top potential, we could scare them. They're going to have to play well if he and I are both serving well. But they will 100% have the ability to just outclass us. Only time will tell.
They're going to play clean. They've been in the game for so long. They're going to play super clean. You just got to match it. Yeah. Play cleaner.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one though. It's like you have those get up matches. That's like my get up match in my pool play. That's the one that I'm geared up. They're gonna have to bury us for sure. Gonna have to bury us because if they don't, we're gonna hang around. That one's fun. I like both of them guys too. So there'll be no hostility. It'll just be all for the love of competition and the game. I'm definitely coming in. That I have my eye on that matchup for sure.
All right, let's talk about this Connecticut tournament coming up, Ethan Song.
Yeah.
How do you think the Prince is going to match up against a lot of these American tour stops at a challenger? Because we've seen them in Canada. They do well. They're podiuming. And they played in Philly, I believe, making the gold bracket, and that's about it. I believe. I could be completely wrong. But I want to know what you think the Prince will do coming into Connecticut.
Honestly, I think they're in the finals. I think they go to the finals. I
have them on my podium.
Do you?
I do. I think they're gonna They're gonna turn some heads.
Yeah. No, I've heard nothing but good things from this team, the Prince. I'm really not a fan of the team name.
It's their name, bro.
It's their last name?
It's their last name. We got Max and Sam Prince.
Sorry, boys. I like your last name. Ruined it all. Team name is kind of weak. But you guys, I think that I have you guys coming in second place this weekend. Very, very complete team. I was on Fango. Looks like they've played in like 74 tournaments, something getting together, maybe 79,000, somewhere between there. So the Prince. I'm going the Prince in the finals versus our pal Mr. Funaki. That would be my early prediction.
I don't think that's bad at all either.
No.
But again, I think there's some good teams going, and there's some good premier players that are going to be there as well who can definitely.
Who do you think could also be on the podium, like dangerous teams?
I think I have a top 4.
Okay.
In no particular order, I'm going to go with Gabe and Church.
Yes.
The Prince, Hilltop, and Profit Boost.
Ooh.
Those 4 I have on my radar.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna completely sweep mids under the rug. They're a solid team. I know they're really hunting for those points to try and sneak in the Pro Division, but I think
they are good too.
They are good. I think based off of chemistry, Profit Boost, Hilltop, Gabe and Taylor Church, and the Prince.
The Prince. I like that. I think that the team like Profit Boost would have a chance at upsetting the Prince.
Exactly. I think there's going to be some upsets this weekend.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be super exciting to watch.
I agree. I'm going to change what I said. The Prince, I say you guys finish third. And I'm going to go with Profit Boost winning the whole tournament. I'm going to switch my tune. Profit Boost are going to beat Gabe and what's the guy's name? Church?
Taylor Church.
Taylor Church in the finals.
Profit Boost with a pitcher, huh?
Yeah, I think it's time.
Oh, it's time.
Especially
I know they want
if they go undefeated and they have like a freaking 50 plus minus.
They can do
It's
well.
just like they wouldn't have to play somebody like Mr. Gabriel until the finals, which could be dangerous. They've played decent games against Judgment Day. And I'm going Profit Boost takes it home. And Gabe finishes up in second place in the exacta.
That's a take. That's a take for sure. Throw that in the hot takes on the Discord.
Yeah.
That's gonna go crazy.
That is gonna go crazy.
That's funny.
I think I would need to get some odds in the gambling portion of the
You
Discord.
definitely need to.
Because that could be worth something.
That could be. Wow.
They could definitely win though, bro. I mean, they played in system.
I think it's anyone's game.
Yeah.
There's no clear favorite.
No, I'm with you, bro. Which makes it exciting.
Makes it exciting. It's gonna be
Makes
fun
it
to
very
watch.
exciting.
Super fun to watch. I can't wait. Go there, watch. Go out, hang. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be super fun.
It is gonna be fun. So, episode 7 of Spike Lemonade Pod is important for a few reasons. One, a little bit of a new format, some new equipment. Although we're still tweaking it, we'll get it even better for the next time. Matty Spo as our most recent addition to the Lemon Lads, and then coming on as my co-host here on the podcast, which is fantastic. Episodes gonna come weekly. Got into a few of your questions. We will be posting something like that on our story a day to 2 days out from our recording day, which we're going to record, like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and post on Fridays, and and reach out for questions. Your questions will always be answered. Nothing will be skipped over.
Unless we get a million. If we get a huge following, this gets big, I can't promise we answer everything.
Oh, that's a good point.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, that's a good counterpoint.
We're not gonna promise anything right now.
We could get like
we're gonna get as much as we can, and it'll be fun. I want to get you guys incorporated and feel like you have a say and you can ask whatever you want. There's no limits here. We might censor if we have to, but don't be stupid. Ask good questions. We'll answer good questions.
I want it to be like a podcast. I mean, we have been doing interview style with guests, but I want it to be like a podcast for the players.
Yeah.
run by the players kind of thing. So people that are active and, variety of different levels and stuff. Matt Spo and I one of us will definitely be on every episode. I'd say that maybe, every oft episode, maybe it would just be Matt and a guest. Maybe it would be just me and a guest if I'm out of town, or if Matt wants to do one with someone, or vice versa. We have the final tidbit that I'll leave us with. Do you have anything before I close it up?
I would say your feedback is going to be very important to helping us grow. We want this podcast to be good, and we're going to be biased because we like what we're talking about, because obviously we're talking about it. We want to hear what you guys want us to talk about. Feel free to reach out to us on Instagram. I'll throw the handles down here. Don't be afraid to shoot a DM. Don't be afraid to shoot a DM to the podcast, Instagram, comments on YouTube. In person, if you see us at a tournament, please tell us what we can do better. Just don't hurt our feelings.
Yeah, we are slightly sensitive.
Yeah, no, we want this to be good. We want to hear what you guys want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it's well put.
Yeah,
we value your opinions because we want to talk about the hot topics, and we want to bring up points that people are interested in. So that really wraps up episode 7 of the Spike Lemonade Pod. It's been fantastic. We went through a little bit of a vision for the podcast, bringing Matt Spo on as my permanent co-host. You'll see some episodes where it will be just me and a guest. Sometimes it'll be just Matt and a guest. Most of the time it'll be both of us and or a guest. So that'll really be the format. Keep sending in your questions. We'll get to as many of them as we can. We have a fantastic guest lined up for this upcoming weekend in Connecticut.
Yes.
Mr. Connecticut himself, Noah Vassington. I'm very excited for this episode with Noah for a few reasons. One, he's sort of mysterious as it is.
He's quiet.
He's quiet.
He lays low.
But I wonder when he gets the mic if it brings forward, he really takes to it, or if he's still sort of shy and reserved. I have a feeling that he's going to be very, very comfortable once we get going.
I think so.
Yeah. So we have some cool things lined up. We may be recording the pod. We'll see. Maybe at the venue, maybe after, maybe live during a semi or a quarter final game, depending on how far deep we go into the tournament. But it's going to be an absolute blast. We'll find out about Noah's involvement in the sport, his involvement in Round Network, sort of his passions, why he's so into it, his love for the game, where he sees himself going, where he sees the game going. Maybe, pick his brain a little bit about a few of the topics, like the equipment thing, and maybe not go crazy with it, but I ask him about the Mammoth, I ask him about the Premier Spike, because he's behind the scenes man, so he's gonna have some inside scoop. So I'm really excited for the Noah Vassington episode. Little tidbit is Noah Vassington is only coming on this podcast. I've wanted him to, but he's only coming on this podcast because we had a wager and I won the wager.
Oh, what's this? I didn't hear about this, so
really?
I'm interested.
I had Clark and Joe Bondi winning it all in Maryland, and he had Ryan Marino and Ryan Gross. So we made a friendly wager, and what I wanted if I won was him to come on the pod. So thank you, Clark and Mr. Marshall, and thank you to Joe Bondi for making this happen. Thank you for taking Ryan and Ryan down and putting them in the dirt, and then ultimately beating our pal Gabe. It was what it was. So that was pretty badass, and we're getting Noah on the pod because of it. So very excited. Noah, if you're listening to this, be ready. Have your top 10 ready, and just come in, open as like an open book. We'll fire the questions. We'll take care of you. Just come in and have some fun. So that's really it. Any closing remarks before we wrap it up?
Other than just let us know what you think. We want to know. We want this to be perfect for you guys. So please talk to us. We want to be out there with you guys and talking to y'all. Other than that, that wraps this up. Let's stay tuned for Noah next week. It's going to be huge, diving into his whole media aspect of the sport that he's taking on. And good luck to everybody competing in Connecticut this weekend.
That's it. Spiked Lemonade Pod, episode 7. That's a wrap. See you next time.